President Emmerson Mnangagwa has appointed a commission of inquiry to look into recent post-election violence in the country. 6 people were killed when the army dispersed opposition protesters following last month's disputed elections. President Mnangagwa says the commission will make its findings public. The violence raised international concern following the presidential vote. Mnangagwa was inaugurated last Sunday after the opposition failed to challenge the election results in the Constitutional Court. The new president has called the post-election violence unfortunate but isolated. The commission will be headed by former South African President Halema Motlanthe and is comprised of members from South Africa, the UK, Nigeria, Tanzania, and the remaining 3 from Zimbabwe. Let's get you more now on that story. I'm joined live from Harare by correspondent Farai Mokutuya. Farai, what more can you tell us about the Commission of Inquiry?
Well, Penina, this commission has been named today, chaired, of course, by Halema Motlanthe, of former South African president. It comprises of a number of international members. It's also made up of 3 local members of the committee of this commission. Its terms of reference are obviously to look into the events of August 1, to look at the perpetrators, the people who are behind the initial violence that triggered those clashes, to look at the role of the police in terms of maintaining peace, law and order, the role that was played by the army when it stepped in to reinforce the police, and whether the force that was used was excessive or indeed in line with the nature of the threat that was presented at the point in time. It's also asked to look at recommendations, to come up with recommendations in terms of the way forward. So not just investigating what happened, but also suggesting prescriptions in terms of what should be done going forward. And it has 3 months in which to do its work. When President Mnangagwa spoke to the press earlier today, he was very clear that whoever has any evidence, any information, whatever it may be, even ongoing investigations, as we know the police has charged several opposition MDC alliance members with inciting violence. He says that all that information, all that evidence should also be put forward to this commission so it can come up with a very conclusive, a very transparent report when it does present it to him in 3 months of doing its work. It's due to be sworn in to begin its work early next month after President Mnangagwa returns from FOCAC. So they should hit the ground running early next week and have 3 months in which to do their work. He did say that provisions are being made for some of the foreign members of the commission to be on the ground in Zimbabwe for the duration of their inquiry.
And Farai, is this commission a first for Zimbabwe?
Well, we've had commissions here that have looked at various issues, but certainly this is the first time we're seeing a commission with this sort of composition, a very high-profile commission with a number, certainly the majority of the members being foreign internationals, people who are coming in who many people here feel may not be swayed or may not be, influenced by some of the domestic issues. So certainly it is the first time that we've seen a commission of this nature in terms of its profile, in terms of its composition, and I think in many ways also in terms of the nature of the work that it is expected to do and how quickly it's expected to expedite that work.
Farai, to what extent is this commission meant to heal some of the anger among Zimbabweans following the post-election violence?
Well, indeed, I think many people, the president made a pre-inauguration promise that he would set up this inquiry, that it would be independent, it would include international and local members. And I think in many ways, President Mnangagwa has kept his promise, but I think also people wanting to get answers and to get, to the bottom of what happened that day. Why, why those events happened. How was the army or military engaged? Why did they intervene? What were their orders? And what happened essentially in terms of the people who were killed on the day? There are many unanswered questions, a lot of theories that are flying around, and many people want to see finality brought to this and clarity brought to it. And the reactions that we're seeing from people on social media and also just speaking to ordinary people in the wake of the announcement of that commission is that many people are happy that it's a promise that has been met very quickly. The fact that President Mnangagwa has done it as one of his first orders of business after being sworn in has encouraged many people. The fact that the majority of the members are foreign, are not Zimbabweans, has also, raised confidence of the impartiality, of the independence, of the fact that they may not be influenced or intimidated, for lack of a better term, but certainly can be able to do their work without any hindrance in terms of doing their work. So in many ways, this is a big step forward and a positive step for Zimbabwe.
All right, Farai, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. Farai Mokutuya live in Harare.